So then hit the drop down menu for level. It says level 1 there next to Paladin. Hit the drop down and level yourself up to 2. You see that?
Yes.
Okay.
Fighting choice.
And then you have some decisions to make, one of which is your fighting style. So you get to pick what kind of fighting style you want to go with here. Your options are mixed. There's a lot of different ways that you want, like you may want Leanna to fight. So think about how you want her to move in battle, basically. How do you want her to move in battle? What do you want her to be like? So
smash. Like smash it.
Smash,
like
big smash.
You go around, like I want like that tank, like
that's great weapon
going
fighting
up.
then.
Great weapon fighting? Okay, yeah. Yep. I was looking at that. My mouse was on it.
Yep. So great weapon fighting is when you roll a 1 or 2 on your damage dice for an attack that you're like, if you're wielding like a big 2-handed weapon and you roll a 1 or a 2, you can actually re-roll the dice if you don't like that. Like you're like, okay, I rolled a 1 on my damage, I'm just gonna re-roll it. But you get to do that 1 time per attack. So
sick.
Basically,
okay, cool.
And you have to use the new rolls. So say you rolled a 2 and you're like, I want to re-roll it, and you roll a 1, then you actually did worse. But your odds of that on a 2-handed melee weapon are pretty low. Like you're probably going to be rolling a 12-sided dice, so your odds of rolling better when you re-roll are much better. So you're going to do a lot more damage with this fighting style.
Yes, that's all I care about. Oh, I got to pull up my Google Docs of all my notes of this.
All right. Also, at 2nd level, you learn your spells. So I didn't realize that as a paladin. So you're gonna learn some spells that you get. First of which you automatically get. It's called Divine Smite, and basically what it means is you clench your weapon with your hands real tight, and it starts glowing.
I summon the gods.
Exactly.
And bam!
Exactly. It starts glowing with like godly energy, and then when you hit somebody, it releases that energy as like, radiant damage.
The absolute power in that.
Yes. Okay, so still on your character sheet here, or on your builder.
Yes.
Under the word paladin, it says class features, optional feature manager, and then spells.
Yes.
Click on spells.
Okay.
And then click the plus button where it says known spells.
Ooh.
See that?
Okay. Yes.
And then it gives you a drop down list of like, I don't know, 10 or 12 spells here, and we need to pick one. You pick one. And you have it prepared. You know all of these spells. You already know all of them, but you can only prepare 1 per day. So basically, Leanna is really only smart enough to remember 1 spell every time she wakes up, and then she can replace it.
I forgot it.
Exactly.
I forgot.
Exactly. So,
okay.
What would you like to do with this spell? Do you want to do more supportive, or just deal way more damage, or like maybe you can debuff enemies or heal?
I think I'm just gonna go for a straight attack, like whatever.
So your best options are probably
Searing Smite.
Yep, Searing Thunderous or Wrathful Smite. One of those 3 smites are probably your best.
Okay, I'm gonna do Wrathful.
The other one, which could be cool if you want, is called Compelled Duel. And basically you point at a target and you compel them to one-on-one you. Like,
really? I don't okay, I'm gonna do that. So
you point at them and you're like, face me, coward! And they have to fight you if they fail their save.
Yes, okay, I'll do that one. Do I hit prepare?
Yeah, so hit prepare next to it, and that would be that would be a way to do that. With Compelled Duel, I'll kind of read you the whole thing here. So, for the duration, while the creature is attacking you, it has disadvantage on any attacks against anyone other than you. So, like, if you use Compelled Duel on, say, like a big bear, for example, okay, the bear, if it tried to turn and attack Juniper, Angelic's character, it would have a much harder time doing that because it's compelled to fight you instead. So it's going to have a much harder time hitting anybody but you.
That's sick. Okay, cool. I'm glad you told me that.
Every time it tries to move to a space that's like more than 30 feet away from you, so if it tries to run away from you, it has to roll another what's called saving throw. And if it fails, it's stuck. It has to fight you. But if it succeeds, it can run away. So basically, every time it tries to move out within 30 feet of you, like out of that 30-foot range of you, it has to roll to see if it can. To see if it can run away from you.
Okay.
And then the spell ends if you attack any other creatures. You got to remember that if you use the spell on somebody, you have to attack them until they're dead. Otherwise, the spell will end when you attack somebody else.
Oh,
so if there's
okay.
two bears
That's sick.
and you compel one bear to fight you, you can't attack the other bear because you've already got one that you've compelled.
Lame. All right, I like that.
Let's see. Same thing if you cast a spell, like any other spell that targets a different target. So if you cast a spell on the other bear that's not compelled, it ends the spell. Basically, if you try and do anything to harm something other than the thing you've compelled, then the spell ends. So you basically, it's literally a one-on-one spell. Like you one-on-one me or die kind of thing.
Oh, that's sick. I like that. Okay, cool.
So yeah, that's Compelled Duel. And you're all leveled up, I believe. You're good.
Let's go.
And then level 3 will be, let's see, I think level 3 will be that's where you pick your oath. So you'll probably pick the oath. I think we decided already before that you were going to pick the one where you're a fallen paladin, like you've moved away from religion. So there is an oath for that. We'll pick at level 3 when we get there. All right. Let's do Nina next. So on your character builder, go ahead and click on the class tab.
All right.
And then the drop-down menu next to Rogue that says level 1, hit level 2.
Okay.
And with Rogues, really, you only get one thing at level 2, but it's a very important thing that you'll use for the rest of the game, no matter what level you are. It's called Cunning Action. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So Cunning Action is one of the things that makes Rogues very powerful. What it allows you to do is during combat, you can choose to do 3 different things that normally for any other player, any other class, they would take their whole turn to do. But for you, it takes your bonus action, which is like a small piece of your turn. So normally for everyone else, this would take their whole turn to do dash, disengage, or hide. It would take their whole action. But for you, it takes your bonus action, which means you can kind of do other important stuff like stab people or whatever while you're doing these things. So basically, as a bonus action during combat, you can either dash, disengage, or hide. Dashing is where you double your movement speed for the turn. So you can do that every turn as a bonus action. Very powerful. Like you can catch up to pretty much anybody.
Powerful.
Nobody's running from
I can't wait to use that, man.
And then disengage is the one where you walk away from a bad guy without them hitting you. So you can do that as a bonus action. So you could stab somebody and then bonus action, you can disengage and just walk away from them and they don't get to hit you, which is pretty strong. And then lastly, the hide action. So you could stab somebody and then hide. You could like duck behind a barrel or something and use the hide action, which then you would do what's called a stealth check. And if you roll high enough, the bad guy will lose sight of you and lose track of you and you'll be hidden from them. So these are things that normally would take somebody's whole turn to do. For you, it takes half your turn. So
great.
Yep, you'll use it a lot. All right. And then Amity gets the same thing, so I can actually just level her up real quick. And then Juniper, you can hit the class tab up at the top and a little drop down menu, level yourself up to 2 in the old druid thingy-mabob.
Gotcha.
All right. And then once you've done that, I don't know, do you get spells at level 2? I don't know if you get them at level 2. Let me look. Looks like you've already leveled yourself up. You do get to pick your Druid Circle, and I think you do get your spells. Okay, you already had spells. All right, here we go. So Druid Circle, this is the big decision for you, Angelic. So you see with the drop-down menu there's a bunch of different circles. Circle of Dreams, Circle of the Moon, Circle of Monsters, all that kind of stuff. These are the type of druid that you might want to be. Now, they're all very different, and they all have different like pros and cons. So I'm just gonna go through them. The Circle of the Land ones, I'm gonna you see there's like a bunch of different ones. They all do the same thing. They just have different like aesthetic differences. because of the landscape that they're based on, but I'll go through them all with you here. So first up, Circle of Dreams is a druid that's all about healing and sleeping. So you help your party do deep sleeps. You can put people to sleep, like forcefully. You help your party heal while they're sleeping. And then you can, at pretty high levels, you can like read people's dreams and like go into their dreams and stuff like that. So it's you're based in like the natural order of sleeping. That's kind of what Circle of Dreams is all about. Circle of Monsters is a homebrew by me. It was created by me for another campaign. You're still welcome to use it if you'd like. Basically, you're a druid that instead of shapeshifting into animals, you start shapeshifting into monsters, different kinds of monsters. Like they are aberrations, monstrosities, like we're talking like really gross creatures. But if that's something you want to do, go for it. Circle of Stars is a new one to me. Stars. Oh, it's astrology. It's astrology based. So you can, let's see, what do you get here? Cosmic Omen. After you finish a long rest, you construct your star map. You have a star map that you get to carry around. And you can, instead of shapeshifting into an animal, you can shapeshift into a constellation with your druid shapeshifting ability. So you can shapeshift into a constellation of an archer and fire arrows. You can shapeshift into a chalice and heal your allies, or you can shapeshift into a dragon and make yourself much more intelligent and healthy, I guess. So that's that one. Basically, you can also like affect people's fate as well. So Cosmic Omen, you can, this is like a 6th level thing that you get with the starry one. You can basically cause you can cause a creature to be unlucky or lucky with your astrological abilities. So yeah, that's Circle of Stars. Circle of Wildfire is literally just a pyromaniac druid. You are just all about fire, burn everything down, burn it to ash and regrow it, like kind of thing. So Circle of Wildfire. Circle of the Land and all the different types of Circle of the Land is a basic spellcasting druid. You learn a lot of spells all about nature. You're kind of like Avatar: The Last Airbender without the karate. You're able to control fire, water, ice, lightning, all those kinds of nature-y kinds of things. And then you're all about a certain type of land. Like you can do Arctic, you can be an ice druid, you could be a coastal druid, you could be a desert druid, so on and so forth. So those are all very similar with just slight differences. Circle of the Moon is the most popular druid that gets picked almost every time by most people. Circle of the Moon is your Beast Boy type druid. You shapeshift into animals and you shapeshift into powerful animals. You're the type of druid that can shapeshift into a very powerful beast early on in your levels. The other druids, you have to wait for pretty late levels to transform into certain creatures, whereas Circle of the Moon, you get them like 2 times, sometimes even 3 times faster than the other druids. You get those abilities to shapeshift into things like Tyrannosaurus Rex and like all kinds of other crazy shit. So that's the one if you want to be in animal form most of the time. That's Circle of the Moon. Circle of the Shepherd is like Snow White. You have like animals that follow you around, like squirrels and birds and stuff, and you could talk to them, and you're like a Disney princess, I guess. And then you can use them for different abilities. You get a special spirit totem that you can have follow you around. So it's like a spirit that looks like a bear or a hawk or a unicorn, and it can help you do certain things. You get to speak with animals. You can summon animals and have them be like your allies for a combat. Yeah, that kind of stuff. And then the last one is Circle of Spores, and you would be like a poison druid. You'd be all about poisoning people and the idea of like fungus and darkness and dampness and that kind of stuff. So those are your options. Any of them stand out to you or like, that one sounds cool?
A lot of options.
I know, it's a lot.
Well, Shepherd does sound cool, but I already have I believe the spell to talk to animals. I know I can only use it once, but since I already have it, I'll cross that one out.
Okay.
I do like the idea of the monsters one, just because like I'm a pretty elf, and then like turning into like a terrifying monster would be really funny. And I already have some healing spells and everything, so as good as the dream ones sound, for my teammates, I don't really think it's that necessary.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm feeling Circle of Monsters.
Okay, cool. That I think it's fitting. It is fitting for the setting and the campaign and all that. With the character, I think it's great. So go ahead and hit the drop down and do Circle of Monsters. From there, you'll get, I don't know if you get an option to pick anything. You don't. Okay. So, let's see here. You get what's called Empowered Wild Shape. So, similar to the Circle of Moon Druid, you have pretty powerful like transformations you can make pretty early on. Oh, did somebody die? What happened? Oh, shark must have crashed. No worries. Okay, so finishing up, just telling you a little bit about this. You are able to deal extra damage while you're transformed. You can spend one of your spell slots, your druid spell slots, to deal an extra D8 necrotic damage with a slash of your monstrous claws or whatever. So you can basically deal some extra damage with one of those attacks.
Definitely just computer right now.
What happened?
I'll see y'all in a little bit. I can't hear anything on my phone. Sorry if I'm interrupting.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, her PC must have crashed.
No worries. Okay, so yeah, you have that empowered shape-shifting ability, and then we need to decide what monstrous forms you can take. So let's see here. Let's look at some monstrous forms, and I'll let you decide which ones you like. Shark just said she kicked her computer and turned it off by accident.
Oh.
Unlucky. Unlucky. Okay. D&D Beyond, monsters. And you can do aberrations or monstrosities. Where are we at? We go monstrosity. And we can do challenge rating 0 to 1 filter. Okay. So, if you want to come over and look at the stream, I'm going to show you some monsters that we can pick from. Okay. So let me sort these by their power. All right. So here are the strongest things that you can become. The first is a Aldani, which is it's like a lobster person. So you'll like grow like a hard carapace, big claws, weird little beady eyes and that kind of thing, and you'll be able to let's see here. Where's your movement here? You have you're pretty slow on the ground, but you can swim pretty well. You have a multi-attack, so you can attack twice with your claws. That's about it. So it's got a lot of HP though. 49 HP is very strong. But for the most part, it's a pretty basic transformation. Most of these are going to be pretty basic. Next up is a Basilisk. This one is low on HP, but strong in its utility. Do you know what a Basilisk is? You ever heard of one?
No.
Okay, so Basilisk is like a lizard, kind of like a young. This is a young Basilisk, so like a probably like 3 or 4 foot long Komodo dragon looking thing. It looks like Komodo dragon, and when you shapeshift into it, you get the ability Petrifying Gaze. So you become Medusa while you are the Basilisk. It's a very powerful ability, but you're also going to be very weak. You're only going to have like 22 HP, which is very low for a monstrous form. But I am going to allow it if you would like to do it. The Petrifying Gaze is very powerful. It's not going to work on everybody, but it could work on, you know, certain people if you want to turn them to stone. That's basically what it does. It turns them to stone. Here's how exactly it reads, just in case you want to think about it. So you force the creature to make a DC 12 Constitution saving throw. So basically they roll a 20-sided dice, and if they roll less than a 12, they fail, and they start turning to stone. So on a fail save, they begin to turn to stone, and they're stuck, like they're stuck in place. And then they repeat the saving throw at the end of its next turn. If they succeed, they beat that 12, then the effect ends on them. They kind of break out of the stone, and they're good. If they fail, they are completely turned to stone forever. Like they're done. The only thing that can stop them, like turn them back to normal, is using a spell called Greater Restoration or some other magic that would stop them from being stone. Those are the only things that would happen. So it's basically a fate worse than death. But if you want to do that, that's a very powerful ability. Let's see here. A Crisis is like a we're not going to do Crisis. They're kind of confusing. Choker is the next one. Choker here is a like kind of looks like an alien with tentacle arms. It has no bones, so you can squeeze through like small spaces. It's an invertebrate, I guess is what the word would be. So you can get into a space as small as 4 inches. So you would actually be able to follow someone like Esme. In her fairy form, you could follow her as a choker. It just depends on where you're going. Like if you're going into a wall, it might be kind of uncomfortable for you compared to her, but you could still follow, that kind of thing. So you also be able to climb walls, and you have a tentacle attack. If any of these sound interesting to you, why don't you write their names down somewhere? So if any of them sound interesting, so far we've gone through Aldani, which is the crab people, Basilisk, which is the stone turning one, and then we're on Choker here.
Yeah, I'll write them down.
And then let's see.
My computer shut down because I kicked it on accident.
You're good.
Do you know where the link is to the Zoom?
It's in our group chat
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
in Discord.
Found it.
The correspond crawler is boring. It doesn't have anything that you don't already see. Cragcat is like, I would say probably one of the most powerful forms you could take. It's like a big, it looks kind of like a big frost lion. It's got bleach white fur, and it has a very powerful ability that makes it so that if somebody casts a spell on you, it could reflect back at them. It has like magical reflection abilities. So if they try to like cast a spell at you and you roll pretty well, the target actually, whoever cast it, gets hit by the spell instead. So they basically hit themselves in the face. Like, stop hitting yourself with your own spells kind of thing. So it's like it's a pretty powerful form, one that is very healthy. 34 HP is good, and it's got some good attack damage and all that kind of stuff. It's one of the more powerful ones. We're only going to go through a few more here. I'll give you just the ones that seem...
There's a lot.
Yeah, there are a lot. So that was a Cragcat. Let's see, does the Death Dog have anything? Other than being two-headed, no, I don't think two-headed would work very well. An Eblis can fly, so we can't do that till later. Female Steeder. Okay, so this is a big spider. If you want to be a giant spider, female Steeder would work. It is like just like a corrupted spider, full of poisonous energy. It also has very sticky legs, so you can grab people with its legs and they can't escape from you. You can't do Harpy because they can fly. Hippogriffs fly. Ice Toads, I think, are... Yeah, you could do Ice Toad if you want to do an Ice Toad. If you think you've ever been to an icy area, you may have seen one of these monsters before. It's just a giant frog that's covered in ice. And that could be a useful tool for you to, if you need to, like, follow your party up to a high spot, you could turn into an Ice Toad and leap up to a high spot. And then these are all flying. Just double checking here. Yeah, I'll fix it in just a second, dude. Or Skak. No worries. So yeah, those are the most powerful ones. Those were the challenge rating 1 ones. So the ones that I went through, I would say those are the most powerful ones for now. You'll get more options as you level up, but these are just the ones you start with.
Okay, so along the way I can like choose other ones to turn into.
And if you spot one while we're playing, like if you spot a monstrosity or an aberration, I'll let you know. I'll keep track of that for you. So I'll be like, okay, here's a monstrosity or aberration you can add to your compendium if you want. Add to your transformation compendium. Basically like collecting Pokemon kind of. And then there are other creatures here that are weaker but could have some use to you. So for example, like a no, that one would be not useful at all. Let's see here. What would be a good one? For example, a rust monster. So a rust monster is a very weak, pretty weak creature. It's not going to like damage many people very much, but it has its uses because first off, it can pinpoint by scent the location of any metal within 30 feet of it. So if you're looking for anything metallic, it can sniff it out, even if it's hidden. Also, any weapon that hits you, if it's a metal weapon, begins to rust and like wither away. So if you got a bunch of people attacking your party and you turn into a rust monster, if they attack you, their weapons disappear. They turn to rust. So there's some abilities there that you can use. Same with armor. You can corrode their armor. If they're like heavily armored, paladins or something, you can use your rust abilities to rust off their armor. So there's that one. I think here if there's anything else. I think that's pretty much it in terms of interesting transformations. Yeah, for the most part. Everything else is just like, oh yeah, this is a monster that, has claws that attacks. And it's like, okay, you've already got that.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. I would say Rust Monster would be the only one that I would pick from a lower number than the ones I gave you at the beginning. So I'll let you pick 4 of them right now if you have 4 in mind that you liked.
4?
Mm-hmm.
To like be already?
Yeah. We'll say you've seen them in your travels.
Okay, well, I liked Choker and Female Steerer, was it?
Mm-hmm, the spider.
And then I think the Rust thing would be really good because a lot of the stuff we seem to come across as metal.
Okay,
for
perfect.
some reason.
I think 3's good. Those 3 are good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think those are good. All right. So mark those down, and then I'm gonna send you the stats for them.
What was the Rust one called again?
The first one is a choker.
No, the Rust one.
Oh, I think it's called a Rust Monster. Let me
double
check. Yeah, Rust Monster.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And you can think of where you might have seen these creatures if you'd like. Otherwise, I can come up with how you saw them. But if you want to come up with like where you saw a choker at one point, you can come up with a story of a time that Juniper encountered a choker in the wild. They are normally found in like forests, so it makes sense. They're usually like wrapped up around the trunks of trees and like hiding. So yeah, those are chokers. For the spider, same thing. You find those in forests and caves, that kind of thing. So that might have been where you found that. And then the Rust Monster might be a little different. Those are mostly found in like cities, but they can be found underground as well, like in caves. So that could be another place you found it, like in a cave somewhere. But I think that is everybody leveled up. Sorry for taking so long with that, but I think it was important that we get all that stuff out of the way. Everyone all good?
Let's go. Yeah.
All right. So let me move these cameras back into place. Like that, like that, like that, like that. Okay, boom. Fixed, saved. Get that out of the way. Hit this button. All right. I am ready to get back into the story. We'll play with the story for like 45 minutes to an hour, and then we'll end the show, if sounds good with you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Perfect. All right, and then Shark, do you have everything open back up?
Yes.
Perfect.
Oh wait, it logged me out. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Get this. Close that. Level ups are a treat. I agree. I try to get my groups to level 3 as soon as possible because level 3 is where everyone gets all their cool stuff. Except for druids. Druids get it at level 2. All right. Here we go. So, last we left off, the group here had gone on a little side adventure into the town to meet the townsfolk, figure out what was going on in the little area that they'd be staying next to. You have been basically hired by a hag known as Licca. She is a mysterious, creepy witch woman that lives in a mansion, and she called to you seemingly out of nowhere to help her with a task. And that task was basically to summon a demon. This demon goes by the name Mother and is referred to as one of the great creators of the world. Now, your job was to collect 4 artifacts and gather them up at the mansion so that Licca could help you perform the ritual. And you made a pact with her, a blood pact, to complete that quest. In that time, you've met some interesting characters at the mansion, including a flesh giant who is simple but has a kind soul. You met a little mouse man that runs around inside the mansion, a skeleton man that lives in the library and sorts the books, and even a hellhound that you have befriended. What's the
Good
word?
boy.
Nicely named or affectionately named Good Boy, who has been following you around and has been your friend for a little while, a tentative friendship. He basically said, if you can find a new owner for this voodoo doll, you can find a new victim for this voodoo doll, I'll become your friend. And so you all work together to find the most asshole dude in town to turn into a voodoo scapegoat, and gave Good Boy what he wanted, which was a new person to torture. And with that, you had a little bit of back and forth with some townsfolk. You wanted to purchase some stuff, but also steal some stuff, and you went back and forth with some of the shopkeepers, and in the end, you ended up pissing somebody off by having a trying to fake a battle in the middle of town. You had I think it was Shark and was it Nina? I think Shark and Nina were the two going at each other, pushing each other back and forth, getting a crowd riled up, trying to start a fight, and then rigging the fight so that you would win a bunch of money. And you pissed off a dapper-looking orc man who seemed to have noticed what you had done, noticed that you had tricked him. So he came after you with his goons, and you quickly dispatched all of his goons and him, only one of them running away. So you were on your way to the library. Really, you were just walking to the library, and they came out of nowhere and said, "Hey, what the fuck were you doing?" And you turned around and you just dispatched them. They came after you. You just murdered all of them. And nobody seems like they're going to mess with you as you guys are now walking down the streets of Dimwood towards the library, which is just this kind of old-looking wooden building kind of on the south edge of the town. You're walking down the street past the fountain that you just fought at. One of the dead bodies of the bandits who came after you is slumped over in the fountain, just profusely bleeding blood into the fountain. One kid kind of runs out of one of the alleyways right in front of you, Leanna, and says, "Whoa, that was super cool!" And
That's right.
He goes in for a high five.
Ooh. And I punch him. No, I'm just kidding. High five. Just a little nice.
All right.
Let her know it's my fan.
You high five each other, and the kid goes, "What's your name, miss?"
God.
"Okay, God, and what's your name?" And he looks over to Juniper.
My name's Juniper.
"Juniper, God, and what about you two?" Looking over to Esme and Violet.
None of your business.
"None of your business. So this is none of your business, God, and Juniper. Those are cool names. I'm Leo."
Oh, Leo. So cute.
He kind of waves at you all, and he says, "Those guys are real jerks. They come into town and they take all my mom's money sometimes."
Dang. We got him. We got him.
"Now they're never gonna mess with anybody again." And he seems real happy. He looks across at all of you, and then he says, "Okay, I better go back before my mom starts worrying about me. But thank you." And he starts like running into the alley. Can you say anything?
Nah. Just a little fan.
All right. So as he's running away, you guys continue onward towards the library. As you reach the front door of the library, it's already somewhat ajar and kind of banging against the door frame. The door is loosely open and it just kind of bang, 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 bang against the door frame with the wind. It's quiet for the most part. All you can hear is the blowing of the wind around you. The building is pretty nondescript. It's a large wooden building, but I mean, large in comparison, not even close to the mansion size. I mean, it's just, it's like a big wooden building that doesn't seem like much at all. And as this door kind of bangs in front of you, you hear a voice from inside just humming. What are you doing?
Do you hear that?
I don't want to, but I mean, I do.
Should we check it out?
I think we
I don't
should.
see a reason not to.
The
I
door
guess.
just says library, like very crudely on a sign that's attached to it.
What do you think?
It sounded like all three of you said to go.
I mean, I'm okay with going.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down.
All right, so Leanne, are you leading the way?
No! I mean, I guess if I'm the strongest, because, you know, I'm big and beefy and, ooh, my fangs or whatever. I guess let's go.
All right, so you grab the door as it's kind of like slamming against the door frame. You grab it and stop it and swing it open. Inside of this building, wall to wall, is books. From ceiling to floor, they're stacked and in almost no shelves. There's almost no shelves at all. They're just stacked in stacks. And there is a tiny gnomish man kind of running back and forth between the stacks. And he's got this big bundle of books that he's carrying. And you watch as he tosses one of the books up onto one of the stacks, and it lands perfectly like 20 feet up on the top of one of the stacks. And then he throws another one, and this one, as it starts flying, one of the stacks, like the top half of the stack, starts rising up magically, and the book slips itself in the opening, and then the stack falls on top of it. And he turns around quickly as you come in, and he says, "Hello. Hi. We don't get very visitors. Hello." He starts brushing himself off. He just drops the books on the ground as they all just kind of clatter to the ground, a few of the pages bending, and it doesn't seem like he cares much about them. As he scurries over to you, you get a good look at him. He's got a big twirly white mustache. He's about 2.5 feet tall, so not very tall at all. He looks up at all of you as you approach, and you're in the doorway. He comes over and he says, "Hello, my name is Mr. Cobblepot. You may call me George or Mr. Cobblepot or whatever you'd like. Hello." He starts reaching his hand out for handshakes, but he doesn't wait for anybody to do it. He's just like going back and forth, like really quickly between all of you.
Awkward.
No, sorry, I'm just a bit excited. Hello, book. You want a book? You want to read? Reading? You readers? You read stuff?
I'll look around. So can we just like look around this place for a second before really?
Yeah, roll me perception checks, everybody. So
All
make
right,
sure you're
all
in roll
right.
20 if you're not already.
Let me see. On it.
I think Nina's the only one that's not in.
I accidentally closed off the tab.
You're good.
And oh my god, I went on the wrong tab too. Oh wait, my thing's right here. Just keep.
Fucking shark's picture.
Is
That
it
Rango.
It literally looks like me. View. Where's it at?
All right, so this is perception.
Shin.
Is it all of us or just
Decent.
Leanna?
Yeah, everybody go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Ay.
Okay. So Violet and Leanna, there's not much to see from what it's like a big jumbled mess of books. Like it's almost impossible to tell what's going on. Juniper, what are you interested in looking for with your 18 perception check? I'll tell you whatever you kind of want to know as long as it's within reason. So what are you looking for in this particular library, or if there's something in particular that you just are wondering about, I'll tell you.
I feel like we should probably look more into like if there's anything about what we're supposed to be doing, like our mission and stuff like that, and who Mother is, and if there's any like legendary books that say those kinds of things.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So your whole reason for coming to the library was to give yourself more preparation on Mother, and also to prepare you for your quest and give you more information on how to find the artifacts that you're looking for. So, yes, with your 18 looking around, you see a stack of books that are wrapped in chains and hanging from the ceiling. They are uniquely with gold leaf edges to them. They are uniquely shining in the candlelight inside this library, which is very dimly lit, I may say. You notice the little gnome is looking at you. He has his hand out for a handshake. He's now stopped in front of you, Juniper, with his handshake motion, and he's looking at your eyes and then follows them to the books that are hanging from the ceiling. And he says, he kind of gulps a little bit. You're not with law enforcement, are you?
No, not at all.
Okay.
What?
Oh, thank goodness. All right.
Us? Ooh.
Are you interested in those books? And he kind of slant eyes at them.
Yes, they look particularly interesting.
Well, they very much are interesting, yes. Jenkins, he kind of slaps his hands together, and you see a ghostly butler appear from the floor. He is wearing a tuxedo and has a little draped over, what's that called? Cloth over his arm. And he's got a monocle. He looks like a human. He's got a very thin pencil mustache, kind of like Alfred from Batman. He arises from the ground, and he says, "Yes, sir, how can I help you?" And the little gnome says, "Grab me those books, would you, please, from the cage up there hanging." And Jenkins says, "Of course, sir." And he like flies over to the chained up books. You see the ghost wrap his hands around the chains, and as he does, he kind of clenches tightly, and the binding chains around the books let loose as they begin to fall to the ground. Mr. Gnomish Man puts his hand out, and the books stop falling, and he waves them over, and they kind of float over to him. He grabs the stack of them, which there's 4, and he offers them up to you.
Well, you're very nice. Thank you. Thank you for getting them for us. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure everybody do.
You all notice now he's actually somewhat bowing as he does.
So cute. Wait,
Do you just grab them? You grab the books from him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll grab the books from him.
Okay. He says, "We have plenty of study nooks for you to sit at and read if you'd like, or if you'd like to check them out, I can stamp them, and you could return them when you come back next, which you will come back next, right? Yes."
Yeah, I mean, I think that we should read them here, but probably also check them out. But we can hang out here for a little bit to read.
Of course, yes. It's plenty fine, yes, of course. Jenkins, study nooks, nooks. And the butler nods as he flies over to some of the stacks of books and lifts up what looks like 30 books at a time and flies them in different directions, revealing a few desks for you guys to sit at.
All right, let's head to I guess read all
right.
these.
So
Four
you
books.
head over to the study nooks, and you have 4 books to look at. These might be important names for you to write down. So, the first book's name is The Creation. That's it, just The Creation.
Am I able to see these books too? Like, am I around her?
Yeah, everyone's around.
Okay,
You all have them together.
All right, I'm writing it down.
So the first book is The Creation. The second book is The History of Gabriel.
Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
Gabriel.
Who, I don't know if you guys remember him from last session, but he is kind of the trickster god, the Loki stand-in for this pantheon, who you discovered seems to have tricked this town of people into believing that he is an angel sent from heaven to save them, but in fact he is very much not that, and seems to just be sucking power from this small little town.
Evil.
So there's that. The next book is called Ancient Artifacts.
Artifacts.
And then the last one says, Never Make a Deal with a Devil. A personal account. So it seems like it's a biography.
Personal account. Let's go. Ew. All right, cool. Got it.
So which one do you want to open up first?
Is there any particular order?
No, they're all.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you want me to tell you how they were stacked, that's how they were stacked. The way I just read them.
Okay.
That's how they
Then-
were stacked from top to bottom.
Yeah, we can go with the creation then.
All right.
The creation.
So in the book, The Creation, I'm not going to read you a book or anything. This is not story time. I did not write a book as a DM, but I will give you the gist of it. What I would like you to do, though, is everybody go ahead and roll me a history check. A history check. Not intelligence, a history check. And this will determine how fast we read through this book.
History.
Okay. So a little bit below average. The book seems a bit dense for most of you. Kind of boring. I'll roll for Esme. She rolls a 7. Okay, so very boring to most of you. Here's what you get. In the beginning, the world was created. This world was created by a group of 4 siblings. One named Leandra. One named Sarah. Sarauh. Like Sarah. And then 2 brothers. So 2 brothers, 2 sisters. The 2 brothers were Maximilian and Firesong was one of the other names. So these 4 created the world from nothing. They were celestial beings from an abstract plane of existence that basically wanted to experiment and create the world. And this creation was, as I mentioned, an experiment. It is known that you were all created by these 4, and then these 4 fell in love with their creations and created the other gods of the pantheon, which I won't go into. But they fell in love with their own creations and created little demigods and other gods that like kind of branch off from those original 4. Mother is... Can you guess which one of the siblings Mother might be?
Leandra?
Correct.
Yeah.
So
she needs to work
Mother
on that
is
name though.
Leandra.
Leandra. little too close to mine. I'm gonna beat her. Take her name. Wait, Leandra.
And at the end of the creation book, as you get to the end, you hear about what happened to Leandra. So Leandra got a little power hungry. Leandra wanted to control the creations and have them entertain her. Leandra wanted to be the matriarch of the universe and rule over everything. She got a little too big for her britches. She wanted to take that 25% stake she had in the universe and turn it into a 100% stake. And so she turned on her brothers and sisters, and they expelled her to the depths of the underworld.
Expelled.
No one has heard much of her since. And in fact, this is not something they really teach in school. It's something you're learning as you're reading through this very ancient-looking tome. As you guys are reading, you hear a voice from behind you. Can I get you any water or anything?
Water would be nice, I guess.
Yeah, honestly, I think I'd go for a water.
He quickly scurries back with a few glasses of water in these dingy-looking cups, and he says, "Find anything interesting?" He seems like very nervous. He's like very nervously looking at your eyes and the books.
Does he know anything about what we're looking at? I want to
not sure.
ask him. Okay, I want to ask him, like, what? Because if I noticed that, and I'm like, why are you getting kind of sketched out if I'm looking at these books? And so I'm gonna ask him, like, what? Like, do you know anything about this? But I kind of want to like
You
intimidate
wanna,
him.
intimidate him a little bit?
Hey, like, what do you know about
Okay,
this?
so tell me exactly what you say. We'll just play it out as a character.
All right. I look at him. So what's up? Why are you looking at us like this as if you know something? And if I'm being honest, I think it would really help if you were to give us some amount of information, because you definitely know some shit about this. And if not, you're gonna die. I don't say you're gonna die, but it's implied that like.
Okay. So you end it with "if not," and then you just kind of look at him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, roll me an intimidation check.
Intimidation.
And I'll let you roll with advantage. You can roll twice, take the higher number. Okay. So with a 14, let me roll for him. All right, yeah. His eyes get real big, and he says, "Well, I don't know what information I can give you other than I can't read those, and nor can anyone who's ever tried." And he looks at you very solemnly, like he looks at you like very like he's been waiting for this moment, like waiting for you to step into this library. He looks at you like with a mixture of sadness, interest, and he's scared of you.
Wait a second. If no one's been able to read them, how come we can?
I don't know. But they were the first books that you looked at coming in here.
I'm scared. Oh shit! Okay, so we are the only ones that have been able to read this shit, and it's been in there for how long?
Since I took over the shop, which was about 100 years ago.
Does this make any sense to you?
What
Juniper.
can I say? I've never had
Juniper.
anyone have any interest in those books. In fact, nobody ever even comes into the library in this town. You all came here, and I could tell just by the way you looked at it. And he looks at Juniper. They stood out to you, and for some reason, when I look at those pages, let me show you what I see. And he pulls out a piece of parchment, a quill, and a little bottle of ink. And he starts, like, he folds the parchment in half so that it looks like the pages of the book you're reading. And then from left to right, he's looking over at the book, and then he's like kind of like tracing almost, like kind of freehanding what he's seeing. and basically it looks like a bunch of demonic symbols that they're like gibberish.
We're demons. Oh my god, that's awesome. Should we just read more? What do you think, Juniper?
I mean, yeah, we have to get through all 4
We're
of
so
them.
like awesome. Like we could read it and they can't. Like that makes us kind of better than them. Awesome.
So
All right.
the little man says, so if you don't mind me asking, what does it say? Is it as incredible as I always thought it would be?
Well, it does have some interesting information, like I expected. What we've known so far is just, how the worlds came to be.
Should we tell him though? Like he can't read it.
Well, yeah, but me just
Does he deserve?
Me just saying it's just talking about how the world.
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true.
I'm like dumbing it down to not include everything. Yeah.
All right. Bet.
He's furiously scribbling onto a piece of parchment with his quill, trying to like make notes about things. He said, "Oh, okay. Well, I'll leave you be. You have other books to read. But thank you for sharing. Jenkins, I need a cold bath." He kind of runs out into the middle of the library and starts kind of having a side discussion with Jenkins.
Damn.
Yeah, so I'm gonna whisper to Liana here. I think we should definitely keep it under wraps about everything that the books say.
Yeah, literally, if nobody else can read this and we can, and it literally explains how the world started, one, we could use that to our advantage and start a church and totally like tell people whatever. And also, like, that's awesome. Like, we know that and they don't. Like, there obviously has to be so much more. I think we should just keep reading all these.
Yeah, we have to keep moving on to the rest.
All right, what other books are there?
The
History of Gabriel. Oh, yeah. What does Gabriel have anything to do with this? What does the book say?
All right. So as you open it up, the book starts off with, "My name was Maximilian." And as you continue to read through, you learn the story of Gabriel and how Gabriel came to be. Gabriel was one of the original creators, formerly known as Maximilian, changing his name and the way he looks, the way he acts, and everything he believes in after what happened with his sister. After she betrayed them and he had to send her into the depths of hell, he gave up on wanting to be one of the creators anymore. He wanted to follow his own ambitions without getting the same treatment that she got. He doesn't want to rule over everything, but he does want to rule over the creations that they've made. He wants to rule over the people of the world. It's different than what his sister wanted. What Mother wanted, she wanted to rule over everything, including her siblings. She wanted to control everything, kill anyone she wanted, whenever she wanted, create whatever she wanted, whenever she wanted, that kind of thing. Whereas Maximilian, he's much more interested in the entertainment aspect of it. He just wants to watch and manipulate like a little puppet master. And so he considers himself no longer a creator, and he's kind of erased his own self, the whole Maximilian thing from most of the history books, which, now that you're thinking about it, you as a group, the three of you, when you were taught in schools, there was no mention of a Maximilian at all. In fact, they said that there was a trio who created the universe, and they never gave you their names. They just, in school, you were taught that there was a group of 3 siblings who created the universe and split it in 3s. And you were never taught about the betrayal. You were never taught about Maximilian giving up his godlyhood to pursue his trickster ambitions. So you're learning that the history that has been taught has been manipulated, specifically by Gabriel. You also notice in the book here, it seems like it's been written by him. You can tell because every once in a while there's a slip up where instead of saying Gabriel or instead of saying Maximilian, the word I is put in there instead. I did this or I did that.
Damn, no proofreading.
No proofreading. A bit cocky.
For
But yeah, you
real.
can tell that this is a person who's very full of themselves, but also, I guess the word would be full of themselves, but also doesn't seem to have like that bad of intentions necessarily. But
Kind
you
of
can
like
tell-
chaotic.
Yeah, just
neutral type
chaotic,
stuff?
neutral kind of thing.
Mm,
There's not
I
a lot
like
of
that.
evil behind the words. Basically, just a dude who thinks he's better than everybody else, and wants to live a simple life of entertainment with his immortality. Because when you're alive for that long, you get pretty bored.
I'd literally go insane. Okay, so Leandra is the mother. Maximilian is Gabriel. And so mother is banished. Gabriel is out there doing whatever rat stuff he's doing.
Mhm.
And then Fire Song. It has to be in one of the each book correlates with, I think. Does it?
You don't know. You haven't opened up the other two yet.
All right. Do you think we're good with this one, Juniper and everyone? Should we move on to the
Yeah.
next book?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All
What's the
right.
other one? Ancient artifacts.
All right. As you flip this one over, this one's actually illustrated, which is very nice for you. It is beautifully illustrated, but as you are like running your fingers across the pages, go ahead and roll me nature checks, everybody. Nature checks.
Womp. I love the sound.
Okay.
Get out
so
of here.
Leanna and Juniper, hard to tell what the ink is on this thing, but Violet, you've seen enough blood in your day to know that this book is illustrated in blood. And again, now that you've been told that you're kind of the only ones who can read these books, you're noticing this kind of this shimmering going on the pages. It kind of jumps back and forth between readable and kind of blurry, But for the most part, you can read everything just fine. But you can imagine somebody who doesn't have the whatever abilities you have from wherever you got them, they can't read this at all. They wouldn't be able to read it at all. They might be able to see the pictures, but roll me perception checks, everybody, real quick.
Is this blood clean?
It's actually very
Perception.
nicely illustrated with very thin brushes.
Nice.
Holy shit.
Nice.
Let's go.
So we got 2 19s and a natural one. Violet, you're too busy kind of mulling over the pages to notice, but Juniper and Leanna, as you are looking through the pages, you kind of hear behind you one of the books kind of sliding off of one of the stacks, and you look behind you and you see the gnomish librarian kind of like climbing one of the book towers. And he's looking over at you like he's trying to get a look into the book, like over your shoulders.
Get out of here.
Yeah, he's sorry, just putting a book back. He lifts up one of the books from the stack and slips it into place. He slides down the tower.
Ugly.
So with this book in particular, the Ancient Artifacts book, you're looking for 4 different artifacts. Do you guys remember what they are?
Oh, I have it. Where's it at? I wrote it down. This ancient. I don't know about it. I'm scrolling.
Doom scrolling.
All it says ancient artifact. Oh wait. Yes, I cannot find it.
It's okay. So the first one that you were planning on going to get was a silver chalice from a catacomb on the eastern side of the continent. Catacomb being like a big grave site where they keep skeletons and things like that. So, going to get this artifact, you weren't really sure exactly how it was going to go down, but you actually see in this book the story of the Silver Chalice. So, the Silver Chalice was Mother Leandra's. It was her choice of drinking goblet. She used to swing this chalice across the stars and drink the galaxy and all of its wonders. It's a very abstract statement, but one that you can imagine, kind of like the stories of constellations or anything else. It's kind of one of those, you're not sure if it's real, not sure if it's not real kind of thing. But it is specifically her cup. And it was put in this catacomb as symbolism to represent what happened to her. She got sent to the underworld. This cup got sent to the depths of an underground tomb and trapped away. So this being the first artifact is pretty fitting. It has magical powers that allow someone who drinks from it to heal all of their wounds.
That can be worth a lot.
The caveat is that you need to drink blood from the chalice.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so to get this chalice or to summon and work with it, we have to put blood and then drink it?
That's if you want to use its magical ability to heal yourself.
Does it have to be our own blood, or can it be
Not
anybody's
sure.
blood?
It doesn't specify.
Ugh, that's gross.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Write that down. My little notepad. Drink blood. Yuck. Okay.
The next artifact is the Holy Book of the Gods, which is a book written by Firesong.
Firesong.
He's the good boy of the group. Firesong's always been the good boy of the group. The goody two-shoes, if you will. When they had their kids, all of them had their kids, and they kind of spread their love across the universe, if you will. He was the one who documented it in the Holy Book of the Gods. So that book tells the story of how the pantheon came to be of all the other children, and also tells the story of all of the past, of deities and everything else that's come before. So he has basically just made like a nonfiction novel about what happened and that kind of thing. And again, it's noted in this book that book has also never been read before. No one's ever actually been able to read it. They just know what's in it. They know what it's about. They just never been able to read it.
Okay.
So that's the Holy Book of the Gods. And it's guarded by a clergy of priests in a place called...
Priests.
Ready for it? Name of the city?
Yes.
So
Can you hear my tapping?
Yeah, just a little bit. That's okay.
Oh, no!
No, it's good.
I'm so
It's
sorry.
fine. So the place that this Holy Book of the Gods is it's in a temple, a big temple, in a city called Dawntread, which is like the holy city of the continent. It would be a place that would be very dangerous for you all if you were to be found out of what you were doing. You're muted, Shark. There you go.
Ah! Can you hear me?
Yep.
Cool.
So that's the second artifact. The third artifact is a golden dagger. And this dagger belonged to Maximilian, or Gabriel. It is a dagger of illusion, and it often hides itself. The exact whereabouts are not listed in this book, but they give you a few different locations that we can talk about at a later date when we get closer to that quest. And then the last one is a suit of holy armor was worn by the last sister. Remember her name?
Sister? Surah?
Mhm.
Sarah.
Sarah, yeah, Sarah.
Surah.
So Sarah was the female equivalent of Fire Song. She was the goody two shoes girl version.
Oh.
And her and Fire Song were the two that ended up kind of sealing Mother away and making sure that the world stayed somewhat intact. They, for the most part, are, as you can tell in this book now as well, for the most part, all of their energy has been put into those two artifacts, the Holy Book of the Gods and the Enchanted Armor. Those two things basically contain the rest of their power because they have long since been gone. So those two artifacts, while powerful, are something to watch out for as well, because you are going directly against what they probably would have wanted. Having sealed away their sister, you're trying to let her out. And so those artifacts, you know, trying to use them for any purpose other than the ritual that you're supposed to use them for could maybe seriously hurt you. As you could probably tell, you have made a deal with a demon, hence the last book here.
Ooh. Never make a deal with the devil, personal account. Hee hee. I like that name. Who wrote that book?
So, as you open up that book, it is empty.
We can't read it.
No, there's no words on it. There's nothing.
Oh,
It's empty.
so we're not lame. There's just nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Do you think maybe, is it really empty?
As you flip through all the pages, there's not a single thing written in it.
Nothing? There's no like spell or like, you know, those like yellow or not yellow lights, those ultraviolet lights you could like put over stuff and see if there's any like
Roll me an
secret
investigation
wordings
check.
or whatever. I feel like there's nothing on there and you're just doing this. You could
Should we
watch me
all
get like a
do
one.
Sure, if you guys would like to look for any hidden things inside this book, roll me an investigation check. Anyone who wants to.
15.
All right,
Bring
Juniper,
me my money.
Leanna.
Yo, let's go.
I'm just saying, you know, fuck it, man.
Violet.
It's not gonna do shit.
Oh my god.
Okay, so
You need to choke on my spit.
all right, so Violet, you actually get pretty much the same exact information that Juniper and Leanna get, even though you rolled a 1, which is there seems to be nothing in this book. It is completely and utterly empty. Even though you take a torch and you try and do some blacklight stuff, you take a lemon out of one of your water cups that the gnome guy gave you, and you squeeze the lemon on the page like it's national treasure, and there's nothing.
I guess we're no Nicolas Cage then.
That's true. That's true.
There's got to be
Sad
something
day.
on this thing.
We have the same birthday, Capricorn gang.
Oh
Nice.
shit.
I'm just gonna borrow it. The Declaration of Independence.
How do you do that so well? What the heck? You should be like a Nicolas Cage Dungeon Master for your next one.
Oh my god. Shit.
Okay, so this book has absolutely nothing in it, and
Correct.
rolled pretty high.
You did.
Juniper did.
You did.
So, is there anything that you notice on there, like that Juniper might be able to see, or is it still just blank and we did it for nothing because we're stubborn?
You didn't do it for nothing. What's cool about these kinds of rolls is, although it's disappointing, it's also information. So the fact of the matter is, there really is nothing in this book. It is completely empty. No one's has ever tried writing in it, and it looks like it's never been altered.
Why do I feel like that's a lie?
Like I don't believe it.
Yeah.
So I can promise you it's not a lie. I'm just telling you as your DM. The book has
Yeah.
never been written.
Okay.
With you, because you rolled high enough for me to tell you the truth.
Right. Yeah.
If you rolled low, I could be lying to you right now, but you rolled high enough for me to just tell you the truth here.
You're right. All right. Are we allowed to take these books with us?
Yes. If you check them out, I'm sure.
All right. Should we check these books out, girlies?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, let's take them all.
Yeah, shit.
Okay. Hey. Would you mind grabbing your dog? He's pointing over to Good Boy, who is ripping up a pile of books. Just.
That's how he learns. He reads books by eating them. Let him do it.
Oh, I've never heard of a dog that learns from books. That's interesting.
We'll buy those too. All right.
So, with that, there's no cost. He doesn't make you pay anything for having told him what you learned from the creation book. So that was your payment to him for because he's been wondering for 100 years. So you told him what you knew. And before you leave, he kind of puts his hand on the stack of books and slides them towards Juniper and says, "Is there anything else you can tell me about those books?" He leans in real close. I've been wondering for many years, and well, he kind of stands up real straight. He says, "Well, my ex-wife wasn't very happy about it. I got really into this hobby, trying to discover what was in these books, and well, she divorced me." And he kind of like kicks a pile of books. He goes, "Is there anything that you could tell me about it that I could prove to her that she was wrong for divorcing me?"
Well, I don't want to say too much. However, if things go as planned, maybe we'll be back to let you know some more. Is that okay?
He nods his head. "Okay, no problem. Safe travels, and those books, don't let those get into the wrong hands."
Uh-oh.
Psst. You are the wrong hands.
Oh.
Yeah, no, we got you. Don't worry.
Okay, well, I trust you all. We'll take good care of them.
Thank you.
Bye.
So you guys head out of the library. He waves you out. The butler, the ghostly butler's waving at you as you walk away. And the door continues to slam in the wind behind you. You see now in the town street that you killed all those people in, there are a group of what look like guards that are cleaning up the bodies. And one of them is kind of like dingy metal armor, waves you down. "Hey, you there? You all?" He kind of nods at you.
Yes.
He doesn't seem to like be aggressive. He's like, "We're just waving you down."
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, yes, hello.
"Yes, do you all have any clue, what might have happened here?"
Oh,
"I see you just came out of the library. Nobody ever goes to the library, but I'm glad somebody's using it."
yeah, I mean, we've been in there for quite a while, so we're not sure what all this mess is.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
You see a young face peeking out from an alleyway. A young face named Leo, who met you earlier. And
Leo.
He's kind of like tilting his head and giving you a thumbs up from behind the guard. And the guard says, "Well, we met a young lad who said that there was these two giant men who came through here in shining armor and killed all these people. Little young tyke, long hair." The guard's describing Leo. And he says, "So you haven't seen anyone in large armor go in any directions?" And then Leo kind of points to the eastern part of town, like behind the guard. He's like pantomiming for you to say that they went east.
Oh, you know what? I think on our way to the library, actually, we did see someone.
Yeah, wait, I saw
Fits
them
that
too.
description.
Yeah.
I think did they go east, Leona?
Yeah. I think I saw them go east. Definitely east. That's
Kind
that
of bad
way.
with directions, but yeah, I'm pointing at east right now.
right.
Imagine you're pointing at west.
So everyone,
Wait, wrong way.
everyone hold down your shift key on your keyboard and then click your deception roll. We're gonna all roll with advantage because of Leo's help.
Where is deception?
So hold down
found it.
shift and then click deception.
Oh, yeah.
Not bad, not bad. Okay, so with a natural 20 from Violet, a 20, what we call a dirty 20 from Juniper, and a 9 from Leanna, those group rolls together are more than enough to convince those guards. As Leo gives you a big thumbs up from the alleyway and sneaks into the darkness, the guards turn away and say, well, that makes sense. Well, we will go find them. Thank you for your help, and have a wonderful day, ladies. And he kind of tips his, I guess he's not really wearing a cap, he's wearing a helmet. He tips his helmet at you and starts walking away.
Bye-bye.
You guys, what is your plan now? Would you like to go back to the mansion to kind of rest up before you go on your adventure? Or do you want to go straight into trying to head towards the eastern part of the continent for the Chalice, or do something else totally different?
Do we really need to rest up?
Like,
are we pretty damaged?
I don't think any. I don't know. You guys did take some damage,
Ooh.
and you haven't rested since
18.
that battle. I would recommend resting.
Okay.
I think Esme needs the most rest.
Yeah, Esme got hit
Oh
pretty bad.
yeah, you're at 11.
Yeah.
Rip. All right. You guys down for that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm okay
sure.
with that.
All right. So you guys head back up to the mansion, and we'll pick that up next time. So we'll pick up where you guys basically wake up from your rest at the mansion, and we'll pick that up for next time. Good job. Nice job today. You guys did awesome. You,
I like
you
the
pieced
books.
together all of
It was fun.
the clues, and you did a great job. Cool that you did the whole Leo thing too. Leo was just a little character that I threw in there as like help for you at the end there. He was someone who I decided if you high-fived him and you were nice to him, he'd help you. If you didn't high-five him or you were a dick to him, he wouldn't help you, and you'd have to roll a disadvantage on those guards to lie to them. But instead, you had his help because you did a nice thing.
Yes.
You almost punched him.
That's true. Sorry.
So, nice job. So there's a mixture of evil and good going on, right? Like you're good to people who seem like they deserve it, like a little kid, like named Leo, but you're a dick to people who either have something you want or are dicks back. So, and that's that's good. I think that's a good mixture.